Hey guys, what's going on? Sadiq. Welcome to Experiences with Sadiq. Experiences with Sadiq is about all things real estate. A show where communication is key, advocating for the people's bliss, and knowledge, it's inspiring. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the show. And oh yeah, don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. Whether you're buying or selling a home, I'm that guy. Let's go! Hey guys, what's going on? It's your man Sadiq. Welcome to Experiences with Sadiq. Today I have an individual from Philly who dabs in marketing and branding. I wanted to bring him on the platform to be able to talk about the different strategies and implementations of how his company go about helping clients evolve and taking their brand or their marketing game to the next level. Folks, ladies, gents, let's go. What's going on, Sean? What's going on? What's good? Thank you for coming onto our platform. How's everything, my man?
Oh, Sadiq, thank you so much for having me, brother. I'm loving this, man. I mean, coronavirus has been nuts, but I kind of feel guilty saying it's been the best year of my life in terms of growth, spiritually, physically, mentally. So God's been good, man. God's been really good to me. So I'm happy to have be on the show, man. Thank you.
Nah, you're welcome. You know what's crazy? Most people are looking at this year as both a gift and a curse, right? But right. Because of all the craziness that's been going on. But I guess it really comes down to exactly what you make out of it. You know, how you go about taking a situation and evolving into some whole other entity, you know, like in terms of what I mean by that is just basically you took a negative situation, or most people look at this negative situation, but made it to be a positive situation, right? They start creating, a lot of people became entrepreneurs, and people were just looking at different opportunities and hitting those opportunities really hard. Sean, introduce the people who you are and what you got going on and what your business is all about, Sean.
Yeah, man. So I command the 7-figure digital marketing agency. The HQ's in Philly and the Fighting City of Brotherly Love. But we also have 50 other locations in all 50 states in this great nation of ours. And like I was telling you before the show, we're looking to expand in Barcelona. I speak a little bit of Spanish. So, you know, it's common nature out there, you know, where I can just have a location and kind of be able to understand what they're saying. You know, it's like I got into Spanish, you know, all of my exes have been Hispanic. And then when I was growing up in school, they taught me, you know, but it's not like when I was a baby where I can just switch it on and off. But I kind of have that where if I live there for a couple days and I get acclimated with the culture, I can bring that up, you know. So Barcelona is going to be great. And Puerto Rico as well. Puerto Rico is awesome for tax purposes, obviously. But yeah, man, I mean, you know, especially in real estate, we do virtual tours. Obviously, in the digital marketing, it's SEO, PPC, web design. But for the virtual tours, for the content, which obviously I want to get into on this, we're helping realtors. I was telling you before the show, man, in Philly, there's 2 kings, right? There's Mike McCann, the real estate man, $300 million team in residential, and then Alan Dom, who at this point, I think it's like $500 million team per year, and he's in commercial, so like apartments, condos, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And Alan, I've actually had the pleasure of, you know, having him as a mentor for me, being a 23-year-old man just getting out of college at Penn State, saying, oh my God, you know, I want to invest in real estate. How do I do it? You know? So I think like what you just said, man, I'm a very binary person. I'm a very black and white person where it's either, you know, up or down. And I always tend to lead more towards that opportunistic mindset, looking for advantageous things to pop up and really take advantage of. So I'm all about playing on the offensive right now, man, putting in investments. And the market, as you know, it was up 1,300 points yesterday, something crazy like that. It's not going to be that great. It's going to spiral down. We all know that. So when is it going to happen? And I like to think if I can bank investments right now, which we'll talk about a little later on with branding, with social media, with local SEO, real estate, stocks, I think I'm going to be in a place where I can just skyrocket the competition in terms of my own personal investments in the company as well. So it's never been a better time to be in marketing, man. and say
No,
that.
you're definitely right. Right now, if you have an eye for marketing, branding, there's an opportunity to be able to put your work out there to the people, to show the people what you really have to offer, and not only that, just more so on a creative level, right? Like
Oh
just
my
being
God,
able to
yeah.
show your skill set in terms of how creative you can take your imaginations and actually just bringing it out there to the world, and that's what's really nuts about it. What's Momentum Digital all about?
So Momentum Digital is the digital marketing agency. We do, more so digital marketing services, traditional that is. So like, PPC, pay-per-click, SEO with search engine optimization, website design, um, what else? Just like social media and branding in general. My business partner is more so on the Momentum Digital side. I'm more so on the virtual tour, real estate, content marketing side of the business. Although we intertwine, here and there. That's just kind of how we have the business structure set up. Where I love photography, I love content, I love creating it. I love the intangibles of digital marketing as a whole as well. I learned that from my uncle who was dabbling in SEO as a photographer. He was like trying to rank for, I think, like, videographers in California or like some astronomical keyword, which is, as you know, it's difficult. You know what I mean? It's like if you wanted to rank, podcasts in New York or podcasts in Philly or wherever, it's going to be hard to do that, but he has a plethora. He's worked with Netflix. I don't know if you've seen the Flint, Michigan documentary. He was the guy who shot the drone footage for that and a
Oh,
bunch of other really, really exciting series. So it's just always been second nature to me, man. I always wanted to be a business owner. And like to your original point, you really make your life what, it's all about the mindset really, because, my dad, man, to get a little personal, he went to prison when I was just getting into college, right? Come from divorced parents. I had all this crazy stuff. So in my mind, back to that binary mindset, it's like, oh, I could have just slacked off and, smoked weed and drank and hung out with a bunch
no,
of
you're
girls
definitely
and
right, man.
doing my thing. Or I wanted to go the route that I'm going right now is like, I wanted to further expand my knowledge and my business. And like you said, man, take the opportunity by the horns and just go. So I think a lot of people, especially now, they can have that opportunity where, if they're just graduating college, the job market's kind of scarce. So you create your own brand and that's it. You can just take off. There's so many things to do in this world. It's just revolving. I like to say it's a tightrope. You go what you love and what you're good at, and you have to balance that for something that you can combine together. And that's where the magic happens, really, man. So it's great. It's never been better to be an entrepreneur, and just in these times, man. It's so exciting. I wake up like I don't even sleep nowadays, man, because it's just like I want to get up and just move. I love this shit, man. It's great.
It's crazy. Like, as we venture off into this whole this world of entrepreneurship, right? We
Mhm.
start seeing things and we start learning things from those that maybe we look up to, or maybe those that we uh, would like to gain some insight or some education from. Who would you consider like a solid mentor that helped guide Sean Boyle?
Oh man, there's a bunch. I mean, I can't give myself too much credit here. It's been a bunch of mentors, man. I mean, my business partner Mac Frederick, who used to work at Google, that would be my number one. Where he followed Gary Vee's mentality of just work your ass off, work insane hours, and I think Elon Musk too. I mean, he's a wild man. I mean,
Yeah, he is.
you could make the argument he's in terms of an inventor. He's one of the best inventors of our generation with Tesla. And, you know, those mentors have taught me so much about myself and really opened my mind to so many different opportunities. I was a very introverted, closed-minded person when I was growing up, man. I wasn't the extroverted, open-minded guy I am now. I want to take all these opportunities and, that I have at the helm and just run with them. I was very closed-minded where I was like, man, I don't really want to talk to people. I don't want to
Right.
interact. And Mac, especially, opened up my mind and say, hey, man, like this world is yours. Like you're good at talking to people. You're good at having conversations. Like you have a natural talent and gift. Like you can connect with these people in ways that others couldn't. You need to spread that and harness it. You have
Yeah.
natural talent. So I was like, I don't know about all that, but, it's you can connect. And I think that utilizing, and leveraging mentors, especially when you're young like me, man, and anybody really who's looking to, get started in a specific industry is so valuable. So, and I listen, I pride myself on just giving all my success from the mentors that I've learned. I think that, just paying it forward, really, I want to be a mentor to, a bunch of people when all said and done, when I've learned as much as I could. So
No,
it's
that's
so
what's up.
powerful, man. It's great. Yeah.
No, that's what's up, Sean. Let me ask you how important is digital marketing when it comes to small businesses, and how can someone use digital marketing to leverage their position in real estate?
I like to say, especially for real estate, it's like breathing air. If you don't have any of it, if you're on Mars, if you're on the moon, you're dead, man. You're dead in the water. Like it is so essential, especially with branding, because let's just say, for instance, you're in, your studio right there, and I'm in my co-working space, and I'm trying to market this, right? Sure, I could have some photos, I could have a nice video, I could have, me walking through saying, oh my God, look at Make Offices on 17th and Market in Philadelphia. This is beautiful. You could rent a space out for 500. It comes with coffee, some free beer, and whatever, right? Which it does. It's phenomenal. They have kegs on, and which I definitely take advantage of. But you think if you have the virtual tour, which we can implement certain features like SEO, like content. So what I mean by that is, for the people that are listening at home that can, create a visual picture, imagine you're in your own room. Imagine your own room. And now imagine it's online, it's on desktop, it's on your phone, and you can manually and automatically click through it as if you were there in person, as if you were there in person. And you can
Bring it on to them. Clarify that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So the software we use is called Matterport, Matter port.com. And the software allows you, Sadiq, to go through, like on your phone or desktop, to capture this in a virtual setting. So you'll see the entire space in a dollhouse, and then it'll zoom right down to the starting location. Once you're at that starting location, where you can set it however you want, obviously you'd probably want to start, if you're at the house at like the front door or something, you don't want to start like in the kitchen, right? So you start at the front door, and you can manually tap at your screen or click on your desktop computer to each new space in the house, whether that's going to the bedroom or going to the basement. You can divvy it up by floors. You can click the dollhouse view, where you can blow it up, and then, oh my God, you can spin it around a couple times, and it's marked on the dollhouse view, where you can say, oh, this is the third floor, this is this. So it's just a comprehensive virtual tour of an entire piece of property. I think that a lot of people get confused the virtual tour of just a video tour with, an iPhone, and you walking through. It's not a virtual tour. A virtual tour is with VR, where you're literally, you're excluding the physical world we're in right now, and giving them a virtual representation. Even though it's the same thing, it's a virtual representation of your place. Even though it looks exactly the same, it's shot in 4K. That's exactly what it's going to look like. And then, like I said, in terms of the features, you have these things called Matter tags, okay, where it looks like a teenager with acne. There's a bunch of red dots everywhere. You can make it different colors, and you can put in all of this text. You can put in links, call to actions, landing pages. You can actually include YouTube videos and Vimeo videos as well. So all of this wonderful content, man, as well as keywords, like we were talking earlier, if you want to show off a co-working space, you could say, hey, check out the best co-working space in Philly, or co-working space near you, near me. All of these wonderful keywords, man, that, Google is going to take notice of. They're going to rank you for this, just for the virtual tour. You need to, and I think a lot of people can stress, to make an analogy, virtual tours are the same as a blog post, in the sense of, if you want to put a long-term keyword phrase in, like, for instance, co-working spaces in Philadelphia in 2020, right? Let's just say that was a blog post. There was a list. Now, instead of just reading boring words, you have a virtual 4K representation that you can just click on your own time on your phone. You don't have to take an in-person tour. You can just stay in your bed, stay in your PJs, and say, oh my God, this looks pretty cool. I'd love to learn more about this. You know what I mean?
Why would the agent want to spend money on a virtual tour when knowing that even I kind of noticed it too, being an agent. And I guess the question I'm trying to ask is why would an agent want to spend money on doing Matterport virtual tours, knowing that people love to go see the property physically anyways?
Mm-hmm.
You know, even with coronavirus, people still want to go look at the properties regardless, as long as they had masks, hand sanitizers, shoe covering, like they were good. Like they would rather do that. So why would the agent want to go about? Why would the agent want to spend money on that?
That's a great question. I'm really glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to make the analogy of a shotgun versus a sniper approach, right? Now, I'll preface this by saying I wouldn't recommend anyone buying a property just based off of a virtual tour, just like how I wouldn't want you to buy a Tesla just off of the website. I would want you to go to a dealership, feel it, touch it, like the material. For me, I'm a very visual person, but I want to see things in person and make sure, oh, this is exactly what I'm buying. Cool. It's not a piece of crap, you know? Back to that sniper versus shotgun approach. The shotgun approach is what a lot of realtors use, right? And it's not as accurate. Look at a shotgun. Yeah, it's going to blow your head off and it's going to hit a lot of things, but it's going to spray everywhere. It's not going to go in the direction that you automatically want. It's going to be a buckshot, right? So this is what I'm talking about, where realtors will post photos, video, maybe, a video tour of the place, right? But contrast that with the sniper approach, where it's deadly accurate. You're getting exactly what you desire. You're hitting the target. It's more of a concrete buy with the virtual tour, where you can see in its totality the whole property, rather than, oh, you see a couple photos, that's great, you see a video tour. You can see the property on your own terms. The video, you just have to follow the video. You can't click it and zoom out and do all these kind of crazy things that you can with the virtual tour. And what we've seen is it's more of a concrete buy. People trust the realtor more. They trust, oh, this is what I'm getting. Cool. They then go to the property and say, yep, this is what I want to get. So sure, it's a step in the door just to get the foot in the door. And it might be a beginning step, but that beginning step is so valuable right now, like you just said, because people, sure, they're going to still go to the property and still check it out and still buy in person. That's very true. But to market these things in a way where not only can you rank for them, but they can shoot in 4K, all these crazy features, it's just the best marketing tool out there in terms of properties because of how all-encompassing it is, right? So that's the analogy I like to use. Sniper, which is very accurate with virtual tours. And sure, add your photos, add your video tours. I'm just saying that the virtual tours, it's a great piece as well to, combine it, rather than that shotgun approach, which it might not. Sure, you're going to get some buyers, you're going to get people who are, kind of interested, but you're not going to get that concrete person who's going to sign that, agreement at the end of the day. So that's really the differentiating factor, which a lot of people ask me, like, oh, why do you want to get a tour if they can just see it in person? I'd agree. I don't want you to buy a place just off the virtual tour. I think that's really idiotic, but like I said, it's more of a concrete buy for sure.
Nice. What strategies do you guys implement to build brand awareness through digital marketing? Meaning like SEO, social media marketing, PPC, etc. And can you explain how some of these tactics can help someone's business?
For sure, man. So I'll give 3 actionable strategies. I'm really all about, Sadiq, actionable tactics. So people that are listening to it right now, they can say, oh my God, I want to do this as soon as I get home from work. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't like to talk in generalities because it's just BS. And at the end of the day, I'm not really helping anybody. So the 3 things that I want to mention. Number 1, obviously, is social media. Social media is king. You look at the people with millions of followers, and whether you like it or not, you trust them. They have authority now because, oh my God, they have 1 million followers. It's crazy. They're posting all this beautiful content. It's the same thing with real estate. If you can accumulate a following that not only is going to like your photos, but is going to interact with you, say, hey, Sean, I know this person right here, interact with that. Oh, we're going to have a dinner with that person. Oh, Sean, be on this podcast. All of these things come from Instagram, come from social media. So how do you do that? I would say you need to find your target audience. And who do you want to be? Do you want to be a Tony Robbins guy who's,
selling
and loud, pompous guy who has a lot of, just energy? Yeah, especially a lot of followers too. Or do you want to be someone who, like in terms of a real estate sense, where is more analytical, more factual? And this goes back to your personality, because you can sniff out really easily people's emotional IQ is on, 100, or not 100's not that smart, but it's on 200. You know what I mean? It's crazy. 100%. That's what I meant to say. And they can sniff that out. They can say, oh, Sean's not being the person that he is in all of his other things. This is a facade. This isn't the real Sean. So I would say be your own person and make content around that. And whether, again, you're more analytical, you want to just, be a character on video, it's really up to you. But you have to tailor that content to providing value for viewers, saying, oh, here's how you save money. Here's a tax abatement law you didn't know about. Here's a 1-year builder's warranty in Philadelphia that you probably didn't know about. Did you know the Bank of America, they're giving 17 grand out for first-time home buyers? All of these things that you could just give value. The biggest thing on social media is giving value. Once you give value, people are going to follow you. Doesn't matter. Sure, you could have, great body. You could have, all of these, wonderful things in person, but people really genuinely care, in my mind, about is what you're all about up here, not necessarily outside, the inside with your knowledge and your deep learning that you've learned over the course of years. You can then translate that to your audience. Okay. So that's social media. I would recommend, if someone asked me how often should you post, I would try posting 3 times a week and stick to a schedule. Okay, we're going to post the fact on Monday. We're going to post, a video of me going through a property on Wednesday. And then Friday, we're going to do a little live Q&A. You know what I mean? Just off that. I would take, Instagram, Facebook, maybe even TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, and you got to LinkedIn too, and formulate content pieces around that. Gary Vee, which you guys can check out Gary Vee's website. He has a great guide of how to make like over 100 pieces of content in a day. And it doesn't have to be.
I think I saw that.
Yeah. And it's amazing, right? It's not that hard. It's not that hard to implement at all. And, I know we're all on a budget. We're balling on a budget here, but, it's easy. So get those stories out there, get those posts out there. It's just, you need content. Content is king. You can't get around from that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is local SEO. Okay. So what is local SEO? Local SEO in a nutshell is if you're searching for a keyword term locally, you want your niche in the location to come up. So what does that look like? If I was to Google pizza in Philadelphia, right? I want, Vino's Pizza to come up. I used to work at Vino's Pizza. It's right across the block actually here. Great pizza. You want the Google My Business profile to come up. And the Google My Business, you can think of it as the Google social media platform on Google itself. So when it pops up, Vino's Pizza, 5 stars out of 5 stars. Here's the call button for their number. Here's the website. You can go check them out, right? Here's their menu. We've all seen a Google My Business before, right? I would obviously make the Google My Business if you haven't yet. And then I would also look at other local listings that you haven't created. So what does that look like? That looks like Facebook, Yelp, Yellow Pages, Super Pages. All of these things that, sure, they're not necessarily, people aren't going to be finding you, on Super Pages as much as they would on Google, but it's this domain authority that they have a high domain authority and a trust score that once you put your contact in there, Google is going to then raise your SEO just based off of the fact that you're on all these platforms. Yeah. And something that your audience might not know about is the NAP, name, address, phone number. That is the key with local SEO. You want your name, Vino's Pizza, address, 123 Pine Street, phone number, blah, 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 to be consistent across the board of all of these high authority listings. Okay. And this is stuff that it's very manual work, Sadiq, but you don't necessarily need to spend money on this. It's a free thing. Sure, you can spend money, on Yelp to sponsor, whatever. It's like an ad, right? On Facebook too. But these and social media links, they count as local listings as well and citations. But all of these things are very important for local SEO to help you raise the bar. So if you were to Google virtual tours in Philly, you would find Momentum 360, my company, because we have a good local SEO on Google My Business. We have, good content, and the social media that helps your local SEO, game plan as well. So that's number 2. And then number 3 for digital marketing, this is more of an advanced thing, but is definitely remarketing. I mean, people have, used remarketing since, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn have been, founded. But especially now, ads, I mean, on LinkedIn especially, they're so cheap. Facebook, Instagram, they're a little inflated, but LinkedIn, the organic reach is amazing. It's better than Facebook and Instagram, that's for sure. But you can tailor these remarketing ads obviously based off of, oh, the people that interacted with your page, interacted with your post. These are low-hanging fruit clients that you can just go out and talk to, you know what I mean? So I would try to, obviously build those remarketing campaigns. And this is stuff where you don't have to, get some manual, pay $500 for this, BS Facebook course. Because the majority of it, man, it's just crap. I've spent a lot of money on these kind of things and hearing from what people talk about. And there's nothing new. You could learn it on YouTube and Facebook. So I would go on YouTube especially and say how to remarket on Facebook, how to remarket on Instagram. You can watch a 20-minute video. I wish that I could illustrate all the steps for remarketing, but it's such an advanced thing that I don't want to confuse your viewers on, because I think they could learn better from a YouTube video than they could. I could talk the whole process.
Touch upon later on.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy though. It's a beautiful process. So again, just reiterate: social media, local SEO, and then remarketing, especially because the ads are not that expensive right now. And you can also, it's just for low hanging fruit, especially because I know people, they need clients right now because they're hurting, for sure.
You know what's crazy? I really think the very third one they stated a lot of people don't know about is remarketing. And remarketing is maybe one of the most important things when it comes to social media marketing, right? If people understood remarketing, I think they'll understand how it will help drive, or it will help increase their business. It's crazy because that's a golden nugget. That's a golden nugget there. But we should definitely have to catch up on that and talk about that next time, and try to really keen in and educate the people on that whole remarketing aspect of social media. I think that's very important. But you guys know what it is. It's your man Sadiq. Sean, the people want to talk to you, or they want to gain some advice, whatever the case may be. How can people reach out to you? Your number, your social media. Go ahead.
I appreciate that, man. Listen, the only plug I want to do is peace and love. I know there's a lot of crazy thing in the world right now, but just remember, we're all in this together, and we're going to get through it. So people that are struggling right now with small businesses, or just your 9-to-5 with the family, just keep the peace, keep the faith. We're all going to get through this, and God bless. So Sadiq, thank you so much, man. This was a pleasure.
Nah, definitely. I definitely love that, man. You guys know what this is, your man Sadiq on Xperiences with Sadiq, where communication is key, advocating for the people's bliss and knowledge. It's inspiring. Talk to you guys soon. Follow me on all my social media platforms, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. Talk to you guys. Be good.